Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Best Gundam Models, period. This is me, your host, Shadows and Dust. And today we'll be looking at the high-grade Universal Sentry Gouf Revive version. Now, this model is a redo of HGUC number 9 Gouf from 2000. And this model is from 2016, so 16 years later, and is actually a remold of the high-grade Build Fighters Gouf R35. Well, how does it compare to the original? I do have the original, but I won't show it because it is one of the first Gundam models I ever painted, and it looks really, really bad. I'm embarrassed. Well, I would be if I actually showed it. So, but how does this model look? How's this model? Well, stay tuned and find out. Before we find out, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll really help the channel out. So, before we get on to articulation, I'd like to talk about the model's paint job. It comes molded in all the correct colors, so you don't need to paint it. There's even a very nice clear orange piece in the stomach there. The only sticker you get, I didn't use any of the stickers, I just painted the mono eye, but that's the only sticker you really need to use if you go the sticker route. So I used Citadel, the Army Painter, both Warpaints and Warpaints Fanatic. And for the mono eye, I used Tourmaline Alchemy by Scale 75. It's a nice metallic pink color. I did use the Warpaints Fanatic Gray Primer, which it is quite thick out of the bottle, so you'll want to thin it with some water. It'll still stick to the plastic just fine as long as you don't use too much water. And it does appear quite a bit brighter in the video than in real life. I used Macragge Blue for the dark blue and Teclis Blue for the light blue. And if you want to know what other paints I use, they are listed in the description down below. Now, let's talk about the articulation. The head is on a double ball joint. It's one of those polycap neck joints, so you get the movement, or head banging like he's at a heavy metal concert. You can rotate the head. Be nice if I didn't have my fingers in front of it. The shoulders are on that swing out polycap joint. The shoulder armor can swing out, allowing you to lift the arm up. Yeah, the arms can come loose. They're not in there as solid as I would like, but it's good enough. The elbows are double jointed. Oh, there we go. A little hard to get that upper joint to bend. And the wrists are on a ball joint. Swivel at the bicep. You do have two ball joints. You have one kind of in the mid torso for pretty nice stomach crunch considering the mobile suit design, and one at the bottom don't really get any crunch or side to side out of the one on the bottom, but you do get a little bit of rotation. And these power cables that go from the backpack to the crotch are why you don't really get much rotation or bend. Don't get a whole lot out of the front skirts either, but you get enough. And there's actually a pretty unique front skirt construction. The front skirts are molded separately, and if you can tell, I don't know if you can see that well, but they actually connect inside to the inside of the side skirt. So you get pretty decent, also pretty decent leg movement. So you do have that weird hip joint that allows the legs to go side to side. You got a hole for an action base, and then the legs, you got a thigh cut, double jointed knees. You got a joint at the top of the ankle, and at the bottom of the ankle you got your ball joint. And yeah, I believe that does it for the articulation. Now let's talk about the accessories. We'll start by talking about the hand options. You do get the 2 closed fists. You get dual heat sabers and 2 holding hands. And now the heat sabers actually are different. The handles are different. Let me pop one of these hands open and show you. So you can see the bottom part here. There's a back to it and a front to it, and the 2 sabers will have this little peg that plugs into this slot on the holding hand. It'll be on opposite sides for each saber. So you get a left saber and a right saber. Also, for just the left hand, you do get the machine gun hand, and you can move the fingers so you can be like Neo, come get some. And the thumb is also on a ball joint, so you can make sort of a fist with it. But why make sort of a fist when you get an actual fist? Well, a holding hand for the left hand, a holding machine gun hand. And that is for this accessory, the shield. And the handle does move, and there's a spot right there to put the handle for the heat saber. I will not demonstrate that because even without paint, it's a very, very tight fit, and you know, with the layers of paint on there, it would just cause some really bad paint rub. But it's not a total loss. What's not a total loss, I mean, is I can't use this handle. I didn't sand it down before painting it, and the handle's too thick for the regular holding hands. If I slide it in to the holding machine gun hand, it'll just scrape paint away. I think I scraped away a little on the end there, doing just that. So not a total loss. Can just plug this shield into the back of the arm. And our final accessory is the heat rod. Now this is made from a mixture of polystyrene, which is the normal model kit plastic, and polyethylene, which is the polycap plastic. So it's perfectly fine to paint, and you can bend it any which way you want, but it won't necessarily keep that position totally. It comes in a straight line, and yeah, I did bend it to make it look more dynamic. So we'll take a look at how that looks in the hand. Got a tab here, a slot here, slot it into the hand, and even with the layers of paint, there won't be any paint rub. It's not so extremely tight that you can't put paint on it. And just close the hand up. Remove the fist hand and put it in there. Oops. There you go. Heat rod in action. As for extra parts, you do get a different head that accommodates a shorter snout. You don't get enough parts to make both heads. You have to pick one or the other. I picked with the old school long snout. I went with the old school one. So that does it for today's review. I highly recommend this kit. It's a great kit. There's no reason to buy HGUC 9 when this is out there. It looks awesome, has great accessories. Can't recommend this enough. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review and found it informative. It's now time for a photo montage and some original music by me. This song is called Harsh Reality.